Shalom, shalom. This is Kapadia, aka Pops, out of GMS Chicago, with a brief sit down. Before I get started, though, like always, I want to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakodash, to the apostles and elders of GMS out of New York. I want to send double honors because they do rule well. And elder bishops out of Connecticut send double honors because they do rule well for the brethren around the world, pushing this truth uncut, unfiltered, give you the good, the bad, and the ugly of the scriptures, correctly breaking down the prophecies and interaction with people on the planet. A hearty shalom for the hope we like. I hope this is edifying for the aqua, the few and the true. The few and the true that still listening and sincere chair to keep doing so. Before scorn and scoff of reprobate 2/3 Israelites and 17 other nations, when in the midst of Jacob's trouble, it's going to get a whole lot worse. Again, I want to make sure I said that right because I'm kind of speeding through this, so I want to make sure I said that right. Before I get started, I want to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Okay, so now, with that having been said, Fair Use Act, 1976. This is for educational and informative purposes only. It's not going to profit me monetarily in any form or fashion. It's a 5-minute clip. I'm going to let it play in its entirety. And we're going to go from here. And I'm going to put some scriptures on it. And I'm a line back this one with another one and whatnot because something is said in the process of it, and I'm going to switch over to another video and show you somebody because I know personally that this is that person's mindset as well. So here we go. We're going to go with this first.
On Monday of this week, Donald Trump signed a new executive order demanding that the United States Attorney General Pam Bondi and U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth work together to find out how we can legally use United States troops on United States soil to arrest United States citizens. This is the big one. This is the moment where we officially become a police state living under a fascist dictator. You know what's shocking to me? This was signed halfway through the day on Monday. Halfway through the day on Monday. On Tuesday, which I didn't see this till halfway through the day on Tuesday, by the way, this should have been the only news on Tuesday. The only news. I don't give a shit that Tuesday was his 100th day. Let's take a look at everything. Yeah, that's great. Do a quick analysis and move the hell on. He told the DOJ to work with the Pentagon to find out how we can use U.S. troops on U.S. soil. We have now crossed that threshold. And by the way, he gave them 90 days to come up with a finalized plan. So this isn't something maybe we'll do. He's got a timeline on it because he wants it done, I guess, by midsummer at this point. Let me read you that.
Okay, let's stop right here because, like I said, we've been reporting this for a while. Elder Malcolm this is like one of his pet peeves. Like I said, I do a lot of geopolitical stuff and whatnot. I used to do a lot of geopolitical stuff. And Debbie in it and whatnot. But like I said, he had been reporting this. Like I said, I did a lot of the stuff when the 5G first showed up and whatnot because I had noticed it up on the polls and whatnot, years before it had really kind of even hit the fan or whatever, and this, that, and other. So that's this, that, and the other. Taking it to another. Excuse me. This, that, and the other, but. Elder Malcolm, this was his, but like I said, this and the Mark of the Beast and this, that, and the other, and MOTB, however you want to say it, and was running it. And, and then we had IUIC Nate June, ain't no microchip, and this, that, and the other. So, a 90-day fast track midsummer. Sounds like this is all trying to line up and be kind of in place right around the same time. We'll see how close the timelines actually line up. But, it looks like this is all kind of looking like it's trying to fall together about the same time. So anyway, that having been said, let me put this scripture on top of it because he gave him a 90-day window, right? So let's go and get this 90-day window thing. Got a couple scriptures to indicate that because, see, all this is still prophecy. And like I said, and as we get further and further along, we've been saying this for a minute, that this stuff is going to turn into like we've been very repetitive on what it is we're saying because of the fact that as we get closer to that time, these are going to be the things that the scripture says be occupied in prophecy that we're going to have to really literally be reporting on because it's going to be coming down the pipe and you all going to need to know it. And as the heralders, I hope I'm saying that right, HERALD, heralds, you know what I'm saying? Like, hear ye, them people. You know, as you get to that point, this stuff is going to be repetitive. So we got 10 and 1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievances which they have prescribed. So DJ Trump gave an order that he wants something written up. So see, they getting ready to write an unrighteous decree that's literally going to go against the Constitution of the United States of America. And this, that, and other, which, like I said, Obama signed off on that years ago with the rule of law, where they can confiscate this, that, and other, pull this, that, and other, all this other kind of stuff under the veil of martial law, and all these types of things, and this, that, and other. So, you know, that was that. But now you seeing this is actually coming to pass. Verse 2, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right of the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. Okay? This is what this Edomite wants to do. This is the Ezekiel 35 and 5, a perpetual hatred against the Israelites, which is the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. It's a perpetual hatred. Okay? And now, like I said, and then this is also Deuteronomy 30 and 7. All the curses that are on the Israelites are starting to pass to the other nations as well. So, you know, these other nations or whatnot, you know, pursuant to Isaiah 13, Isaiah 13, verse 14, and Jeremiah 50 and 16, you motherfuckers that got a way to get up out of here or got a place to go back home to your people or your land, I advise y'all to do that now. Y'all need to stop making them plans and getting the fuck up out of here now. Because, like I said, once this martial law shit lock in and whatnot, it ain't guaranteed that DJ Trump will even be letting motherfuckers get the fuck up out of here. Okay? Period. So this is Isaiah 10, 1 and 2. Let me go to Micah. You know, I'm getting, you know, gotta run those together. You know, that's like one of you know, that like old saying goes, run that. You know, you gotta run those together for the most part. Hold on. Nope. Micah 2 and 1 and 2. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work of evil upon their beds when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. So he wants them to write. He's giving them the order to write it up. He's giving them 90 days. And so, you know, you figuring that was 100 days there. So that's 90 days to do it. This is what, May. So you're looking at what? June, July, August, 90 days to try to pull it off. June, July, August, yeah, that'll be 90 days. So this is the heat of the summer and whatnot. This when people go be out there, especially these YNs, they go be out here and they folly and they in full force and whatnot, acting up, getting out of pocket anyway, And so this is going to fall right in place. And when they think they talking about you can't do this, you can't do that, these motherfuckers go come in here stormtrooping on them. So okay, so here we go. So let me go back. Okay, because of the power of their hand, verse 2. And they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Okay, so we're still called here, but now this Edomite, that the Joe Sixpack that thought that he was part of the white collective has found out that he's not part of the one percenters. So that skin tone isn't going to benefit him either as well. Okay, so let me go back here and let this play a little bit more, and then I got some more scriptures to put on that. Go here though. Let me go back here and get this.
On it. Because he wants it done, I guess, by midsummer at this point. Let me read you this. The executive order is titled Strengthening and Unleashing America's Law Enforcement to Pursue Criminals and Protect Innocent Civilians.
See that? Strengthening and unleashing American law enforcement to pursue criminals and protect innocent civilians. That's what he says. See this? But now, this is why I'm going to flip the script a little bit, because I know somebody that has that mentality. Okay? I can call that out personally. Let me go here. Let me go here. Let me see. Go here and go here. Now I want to go right here. Actually, I want to go here first.
Just outside the Woodridge Police Department with more on what we know tonight. Casey.
In that video, you'll see officers surround that suburban father, draw their guns.
Here we go.
Him in handcuffs. His lawyer tells us he's been grappling with emotional turmoil ever since. Derek House was heading home to his wife and kids after a trip to Costco when he found himself at the center of chaos.
Real slow. Everything real slow. I'm going to shoot you in your head if you come up with anything other than that. I don't have any weapons.
Well, you heard him. Law enforcement body camera picks up an officer saying, I'm going to shoot you in your head if you come up with anything other than that. Okay? Take note of that. I'm going to show you who that was.
I've been a police officer in the village of Woodridge for approximately 6 months. Prior to coming to Woodridge, I was a police officer in the village of Bellwood for about 3 years. I became a police officer to become a mentor to the younger generation, show everybody that not all police officers are bad people, and to serve and protect the community. My hobbies outside of work consist of hanging out with my family, traveling, and practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay. Now, like I said, personally, know that person. So that's what that is. And I've heard him personally say what you getting ready to hear this person's allude to. Let me go back here. Go back here now.
On it. Because he wants it done, I guess, by midsummer at this point. Let me read you this. The executive order is titled Strengthening and Unleashing America's Law Enforcement to Pursue Criminals and Protect Innocent Civilians.
American law enforcement now. Now you heard that cop jump out and say, what? I'm going to shoot you in your head if you pull out anything, if you come out with anything else. Let's let it play.
He issued several directives, including the establishment of a legal defense mechanism for law enforcement officers a legal defense mechanism, meaning law enforcement officers are going to be given more clearance to do things that are currently illegal, but they're going to become legal. A crackdown on state and local officials who willfully and unlawfully direct the obstruction of criminal law, including by directly and unlawfully prohibiting law enforcement officers from carrying out duties. A crackdown on state and local officials. Let me rephrase that. Politicians. Donald Trump is directing the Department.
Now let me go and get another scripture for that. See that? Let's go get this. You know what scripture that's got this? Just got to slide into that. You know what scripture is going to be here. Second Ezra 15, starting at verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords drawn in their hand. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their king nor princes, your politicians, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. This is when martial law, guess what? So the politicians don't have more power than the military state that's going to be declared. They're not going to have, like I said, I'm ex-Air Force. I went into the military and was able to be anything other than what's required of a degreed individual. Okay? Love the idea of flight, okay, which mounted with wings. See, that's what made that take hold and understood. Always loved superhero cartoons and stuff. That whole deal. But anyway, that was that. Okay? But when I was in the military, I could have did anything, but I chose to be a security specialist. Why? Because of the fact that there were 7 words I need to learn. Because like I said, my job was to secure stuff, and I didn't have to worry about what rank you were. Even as a 2-stripe airman, if I caught a full bird colonel or a 1-star general or whatever in the wrong place at the wrong time without proper ID, I detain them, and detaining could escalate into all kinds of other physical force. Okay, and at that particular point in time when I was in the military, I was benching 400. So like I said, it didn't have to go to deadly force, but if I was authorized to use that as well. But like I said, a 400-pound bench means that I could normally grab the average cat that didn't weigh that much and be able to grab him and snatch his ass up off the ground easily. But I had 7 words I had to remember. With all due respect to your rank. That's the 7 words. Ma'am or sir was the 8th word. Okay. And if I could read their name if they had a name tag or whatever that I could read. You can let me do this one way, and let me call my captain that's in charge of my flight out here, and y'all can do the officer thing, or I can detain you. And we this, that, and other. And then if you think you're getting ready to walk away from me after I done said all that, then you go find out all that time you saw me in the weight room on base, getting it in, doing all that heavy ass lifting, and what it translates into when I grab somebody out here on the flight line was what it translates to. So that's that. So here we go. Back to this. And I'm not necessarily proud of that, but it is what happened. Now that I haven't been woken up to it, like, damn, I was doing my enemy's fucking bidding, okay? For this, a man shall desire, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Why are men going to be afraid? Because you're going to have men out here, you're going to have stronger men with better weaponry out here marching down on motherfuckers. That's what gonna make a average man afraid when he's sitting there with his Glock, thinking he's got something, and here come a military personnel with motherfucking shit that's built to be able to stand up and deal in a war zone, and his shit hits him in the chest twice, and the motherfucker keep walking toward him and start spraying his ass with automatic fire. This is what we're looking at. This is what's getting ready to happen. Like I said, this is literally my my little booklet when I was like 12 or 13 years old that showed how the world was going to be and the MOTB and what was coming to and this, that, and the other. And this was absolutely the first prophecy that the Lord revealed to me. The Yahweh Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being He is, He exists, He be, and Yahweh Shai, He saves. Okay? Those two names are precious in this thing. But that's what I'm saying. That was the first prophecy that was revealed to me. And in my lifetime, I knew I was going to see it. And now we're looking at it, getting ready to come to pass. Okay, so now here we go. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of a lack of bread and for great tribulation. So while these people are squaring off against each other out here in this thing, this martial law is going to be coming into effect as well. Okay, so now let me get back and let this play some more.
Politicians. Donald Trump is directing the Department of Justice and the Pentagon to come up with a plan to use the military to arrest politicians. That's not hyperbole. That's not me overstating this. It's literally what it says. I just gave a clearer definition of what those words mean. Donald Trump is going to use the military to arrest politicians that he doesn't like. Now, you can probably derive from this that he's most likely only talking about the issue of immigration, right? Well, let's never forget we're constantly on that slippery slope. So even if he is specifically referring to immigration, which is not mentioned, so, that's a pretty big leap to assume that's all he's talking about, it'll go further from there. Not to mention he's talking about impeding criminal law. Well, guess what? Immigration issues are not criminal law, they are civil. So even by your own definition, you couldn't go after these politicians for having what you call sanctuary cities. But it continues. Section 4 of the executive order, using national security assets for law and order. Within 90 days of the date of this order, the Attorney General and the Secretary of Defense, in consultation with the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, and the heads of agencies as appropriate, shall increase the provision of excess military and national security assets in local jurisdictions to assist state and local law enforcement. Within 90 days of the date of the...
To assist state and local law enforcement. Remember, that was a local police officer that said he would blow your head off to a man that was absolutely innocent. And now the police department itself is being sued behind such statements. That's getting lifted. This thing that Donald Trump wants written up is going to lift them off of that. So, and I've heard him say, the officer, personally, that he didn't care. If somebody gave him a direct order to shoot somebody, he's going to do it. And as the guy says, that ain't hearsay. I heard those words personally come out of that man's mouth. So this is what's coming down the pipe.
This order, the Secretary of Defense, in coordination with the Attorney General, shall determine how military and national security assets, training, non-lethal capabilities, and personnel can most effectively be utilized to prevent crime. So again, don't assume that this is just talking about undocumented people. They don't even mention the word immigration. They just say crime. They're going to crack down on protesters. They're going to crack down on dissent. They could crack down on the media.
Protesters. So now, as a man of GMS and like-minded affiliates, and then even the ones that's not teaching the truth like we are, they cracking down on all of that. All of it. Speaking against the government, speaking against this, speaking against that, showing the simple what these government officials are into and what they're doing and how they're doing it. Exposing the thigh of the virgin daughter, Babylon. She's being exposed. It's Obadiah. Okay? Matter of fact, let me get that. That wasn't one that I had on the thing, but now that I'm here, let me get that. Obadiah. Obadiah, okay. Let me, I'm gonna pick it up at 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, what is America's national mascot? The bald eagle. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou settest thy nest among the stars, space stations, satellites, all that other stuff, this is why I bring thee down, says the Lord. So see, this is all part of the prophecy that the Lord has had happening anyway. So DJ Trump is actually fulfilling prophecy by putting all this shit in place and making this happen. Okay? So verse 6. Though thou among the stars, this is why I bring thee down, says Yahweh. Verse 6. How are the things that Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? We go into these scriptures. These scriptures explain what we see happening in the world. We put the scriptures to it so you can understand that this is going to happen because the word says it's going to. Okay? So now let me go back here and let this play out. Let me go back here. Here we go.
On dissent. They could crack down on the media with the United States military. Let me tell you something. If you're an active duty service member, you're about to have to make the hardest choice of your life. Do you allow yourself to be deployed on U.S. soil? Are you going to be one of the people that history is going to look back on that tells us later on, I was just following orders?
Oops. Now, what did I say? Just following orders. I know somebody personally that said absolutely just that. And he said, yeah, he's going to follow orders. Okay? So he's not a one-on-one. He's a multitude of these cops that's been out here that shouldn't have ever been issued a weapon in the first place. Here we go.
Y'all will have to make those choices. Possibly in 90 days. It's right there in black and white. You will be deployed on U.S. soil and you will be asked to arrest or worse, U.S. citizens. You guys have some pretty tough choices to make, and you only have 88 days left to do it. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please.
Okay, so we got that. Got this. Let me put some more scriptures to this. I got a couple more scriptures I want to put to this, and I'm gonna end this on that note. Let's see. Here we go. Here. Let me see. Matthew. I'm gonna go to Matthew's 10. 10 to 21. Okay. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. Okay. That's that. Jump down to 35. Read 35 and 36. For I come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter against her mother-in-law. And a man's foe shall be they of his own household. What did that boy say? Spending time with his family? Why the hell would I want to be around him? Because if they tell him to shoot me, he say he gonna do it. He don't give a fuck who's told. Oops. He don't give a fuck who he tell to shoot. If they tell him that, this, that, and other. So that's literal. I can literally see that. Okay? So hey, this is coming down the pipe. And that scripture there, absolutely. I haven't been hanging out with my family like that since I came in the troop in 2011. So I have no problem not being around that motherfucker when this shit jumps off. I have no problem. Okay? So if it depending on what the time frame is and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other, and considering me and Canasla and what we got going on and this, that, and the other, we don't need to be around a family member that already told us in advance that if somebody gives him an order, he's going to shoot somebody, and he done already showed that he's trigger happy by jumping out on an innocent person that's wound up being the wrong suspect with the wrong vehicle and the wrong license plate, and he pulled a weapon and said, if you come up with anything, I'm going to blow your head off. Now, I don't think I need to be around him. Proverbs 1 make it real plain to give subtlety to the. Let me get that. I'm gonna end it on that. I'm gonna end it on that proverb. 1 and 22. How long will you simple ones? Will you love simplicity and the scorn of the light and the scorn and fools hate of knowledge? See, I'm not this dude, so let's go up to the beginning. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the word of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment and equity. Verse 4, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. I'm an old fart, and I done heard that, so I don't need to be around there. Okay, scripture say you go set variance. Go set people among. Go set family against each other. I don't need to be around that. So I hope that that's edifying. So for you hopeful elect, that you got family members that you holding out hope for, better start letting that shit go. Better start letting that shit go right now. Okay? They're 2/3. Better let them stay their ass over there in left field. So, hey, I hope that this edifying. I want to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakwadash, to the apostles and the elders of GMS out of New York. Again, I just want to send double honors because they do rule well. For the hopeful elect, I hope that's edifying again. So, for the brothers out there pushing the thing, a hearty shalom. So, for the whole hopeful elect, a hearty shalom. And for the rest of the world, a Bob.